Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, I would like to express our gratitude to Sierra Leone for their successful presidency in August, and wish Slovenia, the president for this month, the best of luck. Let me also thank USG DiCarlo, Director Wilson, Dr. Brong Harev, and Ms. Novak for their respective briefings. We are almost 11 months into this devastating conflict, and yet violence and tragedies in Gaza are never ending. The news that 6 hostages held by Hamas were found dead is truly heartbreaking. Japan is deeply saddened and outraged by the murder of these innocent hostages, and we express our sincere condolences to their bereaved families and loved ones. It is inhumane and totally unacceptable to use hostages' lives as bargaining chips. Hamas must release all remaining hostages immediately. Turning to the overall situation in Gaza, Japan remains appalled by the ever-increasing civilian casualties, mostly women and children, the massive displacement, and the worsening humanitarian situation due to the relentless hostilities. We welcome the successful implementation of the first few days of the polio vaccination campaign under the temporary pauses, and we are relieved to hear that more than 180,000 children have been vaccinated so far. The brave efforts and dedication of the relevant UN agencies, despite the extremely difficult conditions, are commendable. However, the suffering of Palestinians and the desperate situation in Gaza will remain the same as long as the fighting continues. Nowhere is safe. People are compressed into ever smaller areas by the repeated evacuation orders. There are critical shortages of food, medicine, clean water, and other basic necessities. Public order has collapsed, further threatening the well-being of the population and creating challenges to the work of aid workers. In short, the civilians are paying the highest price of the conflict. Japan reiterates that all parties must strictly abide by the relevant principles of international humanitarian law. Most importantly, the protection of civilians, and must secure the safe and unhindered delivery of humanitarian aid. Mr. President, while our eyes are on Gaza, Japan is also seriously concerned about the deteriorating situation in the West Bank. We deeply regret the continuing settlement activities and condemn extreme settler violence committed against Palestinians. Most recently, the ongoing large-scale Israeli military operations in the West Bank and their ramifications are alarming. Mr. President, in the inflamed Middle East, one thing that can relieve tensions in the region is a deal that brings the hostages home, achieves an immediate ceasefire, and expands the delivery of humanitarian aid at scale throughout Gaza. In this regard, Japan strongly supports the tireless diplomatic efforts by the US, Egypt, and Qatar, and urges both parties, especially Hamas, to swiftly conclude the deal in accordance with the Security Council Resolution 2735. All parties must prioritize to end the agony of innocent civilians rather than focusing on political gains. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Japan for